if you have a melanoma, and that melanoma metastasizes, in other words, it moves, your prognosis for survival is not very good. So it's also, melanoma is one of the most treatable of all cancers. So it's important to get in, get it tested, and then have it removed if need be. Why Wyoming? Well, obviously, look at the sun. We get a lot of sun, and we have a lot of sunny days. Second, the altitude of Wyoming overall. The higher you are, the more intense those UV radiation. Wyoming has many times extreme, like today would be considered an extreme day for skin damage. Third, people argue or will say that wind. Wind is another factor. Because what does wind do? It pushes out a lot of the pollution. So when we don't have that pollution, the UV radiation is greater. The fourth thing is our lifestyle. We spend a lot of time outside. We work outside, we recreate outside, we hunt, we fish, those kinds of things. That creates a greater chance for that. There's also personal factors, and you have in your handout there, it's a pink sheet that says sun susceptibility, if you want to look at that. If you are blonde or red hair, you are at greater risk. If you have blue eyes or green eyes, you are at greater risk. Why? Because you have fair complexion. You have a much fairer complexion. If you have a lot of freckles in your body, you are at greater risk because melanoma oftentimes develops around the freckles. Let me see. On this is white one, but you have a pink one. If you have a lot of freckles. If you burn or blister, you're at higher risk. If you burn easily or you blister, give yourself. If you work outdoors, you are at greater risk, obviously. So that's another one. If anyone in your family has had skin cancer, you are at greater risk because it oftentimes will run in families. And if you've lived in the South or the West, obviously in the West here, before the age of 18, you are at greater risk. Other kinds of things too. If you've had a severe sunburn as a child or a young person, you are at greater risk. And finally, if you have atypical moles, not some of you, well, this will be up during lunch. A typical mole, nice oval round mole. An atypical mole, this is a malignant mole. And actually, that mole was only about a ½ an inch. It's been blown up. But those are the kinds of things you need to look for atypical mole. Asymmetry. One half does not match the other half. Border. Sometimes they're jagged borders, rugged borders, notch borders. Color. It's not formal. It's not uniform. There could be parts of black, brown, sometimes even blue in those atypical moles. That's a risk. And if it's only a ½ of an inch or more, that could be a dangerous kind of mole. If it bleeds, if it scratches, if you see what I call little fingers coming out of that, that's a greater risk.